What do you snort? Okay, 1, 3.
Sorry.
What? Doesn't work, but it's okay because we're here. We're back. We're at Can't Sleep Podcast.
Yep.
It's you and me and Chris, and we're hanging out together. Oh, she's chilly.
I am.
She's
I'm not.
moment.
It's actually so hot here, but I just want it to be fall so bad. I'm trying to will the cold weather, but it's Texas.
How hot is it? Like, I heard that August is the worst month.
Yeah, but honestly, it's been an extremely mild year, and last year was too, and that's the year I moved here. So I've been getting really lucky because the year before I moved here, they were in like a 5-year drought.
You brought it.
I did bring it. Let's see what it is. I'll do it for the Americans. Well, right now it's actually 80, which is really mild. But like the rest of the week is like 90s, which is like in the mid 30s, high 30s.
That's still crazy. It's here for the Canadians, it's like 20 degrees here, if that right now. It might not even be 20.
Nice.
Let's find out. 16 degrees. It's 16 here. It feels amazing.
I really want that so bad.
Yeah, the flies are down. Are the flies bad there?
Actually, they haven't been. Last year it was a nightmare, but the ants. There are colonies in my pantry. I literally had.
I thought you were going to say pants.
I just had to have a guy come in and spray our whole house because ants are taking over, and apparently it's just like everybody's house in Texas.
Oh God!
But our pantry is right. It's like an outside wall by where there's a bunch of ant beds outside, so we just have trails of ants going up the pantry, and we close everything double, and we do. Oh, it's been a nightmare. I've been fighting ants for 2 months.
Why do ants exist? What do they do? What is their point?
I don't know. They're cool, but not in my house, dude.
I want an ant farm.
Yeah, ants are cool.
One of those.
Ants are dope. Like, I think ants are really
they're kind
cool.
of dicks, though. They don't like. At least they don't like bite you. They don't do anything like that. They just.
Oh yeah, they do.
Stuff.
You know how many ants have bitten me? Yeah, they're just. No, they're like they climb everywhere. They're like on our couch and stuff. They'll bite my leg. It doesn't hurt that bad, but. Oh no, and we got fire ants.
Oh, the red ones.
Mm-hmm. We have them all over the property.
Not fun.
That's how it killed one of our chickens.
It got swarmed, right?
Yeah, he fell asleep on an anthill. Our one with the broken leg. And he died because he died of like anaphylactic or something. I don't know. But all the ants swarmed all over him. Anyway.
Chickens don't have normal death story. They never do. I had a chicken the other day. He was fine. Adam goes, there's a dead chicken in there. He's in a perfect ball with his head back. I pick him up. He's rock solid. I could knock him and probably break him in half. And it's just, they don't die normal. They never do.
No, chickens and hamsters have the most brutal deaths for some reason.
Do you have a hamster death story?
I don't. My mom didn't allow rodents in the house. I always wanted one, but she's like, they die in like a year. I'm not going to get you that, which I'm kind of thankful for now. Because all my friends they're just like, yeah, it just like jumped off a counter and hit its head and died. Or it's like, it just like walked into the stove. I don't know. It's just like, what?
Bro, I smuggled a hamster into my house. My grandma had died and I was like, this is the perfect excuse. I'll say I was sad and I bought it for my brother. So I bought this hamster for myself, had it for one day and was like, F this. Gave it to my brother as a gift for going through the grief of my grandmother.
Oh.
We thought it was a boy. We named him Buddy. Okay, Buddy the hamster. Wow. He would get out of his cage, but he would literally, the bars were pulled apart. I don't understand. So up where the plastic top was, it would be like bent. And he got himself out of there.
Man. Like prison break.
Dude, this hamster was gone for 3 weeks. This was summer. We were heading into fall. My parents turned on the furnace. We hear flop, 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 flop. We turn off the furnace. We run downstairs. We pull it off. We look down. What do we see? Buddy. Buddy with cheeks. Like he had emptied his cheeks. He had made a whole nest. It's like he was coming out at the middle of the night, getting more food and going back into the furnace. But he had fallen down into the furnace, but with cheeks. Like he still had food. My dad, giant Hungarian man, absolutely terrified of rodents. So he gets a Ziploc bag on a hockey bag, scoops this hamster up, okay? Yep. This hamster had a bum legs for the rest of its life. Like it got around fine, but its back legs
How long did it live?
Okay, now this is the crazy part.
The
hamster ended up living at my house one day before I'm going to factory because this hamster lived for over 4 years.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
I noticed blood in the bedding. So I take the hamster to the vet. Buddy was not a boy. Buddy was a girl. And Buddy had cancerous tumors all over its like genitalia inside of it. So then I paid $178 to put the hamster down.
Girl.
Yeah.
If you told a farm person that, they'd be like,
throw it in the woods.
What? You did what?
I'd still do it to this day though, because I hate when things like freaking
Yeah,
suffer,
dude.
man.
What else are you get? Yeah, I couldn't. I would have done the same. I can't. Well, again, the fucking rabbits, the bunnies. There was more born in our backyard, and who finds them? Rupert, because that's what he's like bred to do. Is like go find them. And same as Debbie,
Rodents.
she's a retriever. So they go find him, and they put it down on my feet, and the back legs. It's like fresh, doesn't have hair. It's just kicking, going. Head half crushed because Rupert ate. It's just like, and I'm
just
like,
gotta feed it to Kevin after that.
Caleb, I can't even look at it. Like, I have no stomach for that stuff. Like, for how much we both like horror, like anything.
Not animals. Like, once you mess with, like, even
Yeah.
a horror movie where the dog dies, like that first Conjuring movie, I can't. Don't leave dogs out of the horror category, please.
Yeah. Yeah, you see there's a new horror movie called Good Boy or something.
Last Right?
No, with the dog. It's like a horror movie in the POV of a dog's
perspective.
I'm like, how is
that
work? But I'm like, I'm out. And that was like 90% of the comments. They're like, who would do this? I would never watch a horror movie with a dog under. Yeah, no. So I don't know if I'll be able to watch that.
No. I like Animals Be Happy. Literally right now, if you guys hear any machinery going on, we have these two huge fenced areas now for the cows to rotate them between. And we just let them out, which is hilarious because we had them in like that electrical fence. It was still big, but it wasn't as big.
Yeah.
And Teeners, Jeaners, and Bellers. I'm gonna sneeze. Once Teeners noticed that it was open, she started galloping and like kicking her legs up in the air. I just like to spend way too much money to make my cows happy.
No, it's good. No, dude, I love having happy cows. When I call them and they just like running around and like, cows are the best.
Yeah, we had a moment the other day where we were like, should we get rid of them? Like, the baby's coming. And I've never rehomed a pet ever in my life. So I was like, I don't know. Like, because Adam, he hasn't been feeling as well. And he's like, I feel like really intimidated by being able to take care of them and stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let's just keep them. We promise them a good life because we're not going to eat them. Like, they're just freaking pets.
Nope, I'm not.
But they're so happy.
Yeah, I won't be able to eat any of my cows. And we have 2 more pregnant cows. We've had 4 babies. Like, our cows have had 4 babies, and now we're probably gonna have like 2 more. And
I love this.
And I'm not gonna sell them, and I'm not gonna eat them. They're just gonna be free,
living their lives in the Texas backcountry.
Yeah. And the vegan teacher would still say I'm a monster.
Go yourself.
They're like out on a bunch of acreage, living their best lives, get hay every day and grass and cubes.
Just happy cows.
She's still around, hey? She's still
really?
making videos about me like on a weekly basis.
What?
Yeah, once every couple months I'll check in.
What is it about you?
It's just my face. I think it's just like she really like wants me to.
You get the clicks.
Yeah, which fair. I'm talking about her right now, but I haven't talked about her in a long time. But I think it's just so funny.
She makes me so mad.
Honestly, kind of respect it.
The fact people still listen. I know they're hate watching her, but like
they're just hate watching for the most part. Yeah, she's
I was
a very
hoping at one point
hateful
she'd talk
woman.
about me because I'm so fat, and she could really use that. She could really lean into that.
Stop.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, she's a very hateful person. But I am just under the guise. I think she does believe what she says to a degree, but I think she's like purely a provocateur. Because Caleb's like spent a lot of time with her, and he's like, she is.
Oh yeah,
she's like, right in her like she believes what she says, but she also is like egging it on so much. So
it's so weird.
So
I could never make content that's mean or like content that is like stirring the pot. It feels so bad for your soul. You know what I mean? Like, she talks about soul. I'm like, are you religious? Because God doesn't like what you're doing. God doesn't like you being mean like that.
No, I don't know. If anything, she's made less vegans in the world, so. She has, I think.
Maybe counterproductive.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, which I'm like, I don't care. Eat meat, don't eat meat. Doesn't affect me, man. But yeah, it's really funny. I don't know how I started talking about the vegan teacher, but what else is going on?
It's an interesting topic. I have to tell you what I saw.
Okay.
That blew my freaking mind. Scrolling TikTok. A clip comes up. It's Kirstie Alley. Do you remember who Kirstie Alley is? Look her up real quick.
Yeah.
She was
I know that
from
name.
like an old Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen movie. I think she was in Cheers. She died a couple years ago. She went through like a weird phase there before she died. She would gain weight, lose weight a lot.
Yes. Of course.
So I see a clip. She's on a talk show.
Okay.
She's talking about the day that she lost both her parents. So her parents died at the exact same time. So she is so upset. Her sister calls her and tells her, you know, your parents have died. She's like, oh my gosh, what happened? So they died going to a Halloween party in a car accident.
Oh.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But they were going to a Halloween party. She said, wait, what were they dressed as? So her dad was dressed as a KKK member and her mother was dressed as a black woman. So they died in a KKK uniform and blackface.
I don't think they went to heaven. I think that's how you get a one-way ticket downstairs.
Well, they got smited on the way to the party.
Yeah, I think somebody didn't like that.
No, someone did not like that at all.
I was like, oh, that's insane.
It's bad. I think it was based off some show. Like, I remember saying that they were based as some show, and I guess in the show they had done that for the show, but still, like, imagine you're an officer. You pull up on the scene. There's a tragic thing. You pull the bodies out. One's in a hood. Okay. And the other is clearly in blackface.
What year was this?
I don't okay, let me find out.
Not that it makes it okay at any year.
No,
I'm just curious. It has to be at least the 80s.
Yeah, the clip looked like it was from the 80s.
Or 70s. I don't know. I mean,
they were in a serious crime. 1981.
Knew it. 70s or 80s.
Oh, her father, Robert, survived.
Oh.
He didn't die till 2007.
What the? Wait, where did you see this?
I was scrolling. It was just a clip on TikTok.
TikTok is just a wealth of knowledge, isn't it?
What's your For You page look like?
TikTok's not my thing. It's just never good. It's always
okay, Reels page. Reels is good.
Reels are good. It's just my Reels are a lot of painting. I watch a lot of painting things, and then I watch a lot of dumb brain rot funny stuff and a lot of pregnant women for some reason.
Dude,
I'm not.
Mine's all babies.
By the way, yeah, it makes sense for you. Not for me. It's just like rubbing it in my face. It's just like, hey, you want one?
Everybody asks that of me. They always go, is Chris pregnant? When is Chris having babies? Is Chris pregnant? Everybody asks that of me, and I go, no, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't base my life or having a kid off people around me, believe it or not.
No. I can't go out in public anymore because everybody knows time is near for me. Which, by the way, still no baby.
Yeah, what the fuck? I thought it was going to come on this past weekend.
He's due tomorrow. We're filming this on August 26th. It's Tuesday. Still no baby.
Mm-hmm.
She went to an appointment today. No updates at all whatsoever. I'm anxiety sleeping now, which means I'm just having crazy freaking dreams. You were so mean last night in my dream.
I'm sorry.
You covered my car in dirt and like kept hiding it where it was parked, and I couldn't find it, and I had to shit so bad. It was not good.
That's crazy. I had crazy dreams last night, but that makes me so sad. Why was I mean in your dream?
You kept covering my car in dirt, and you wouldn't, and you were like, "Ha, you're never gonna find it." And you kept parking it inside stores. No, I was like, "Why are you being like this?"
It wasn't me.
I know. I wake up, I'm like,
I was in my dream. I was hunting down PDFs.
Good.
And brutally, like I was uncomfortable in my own dream, brutally killing them in my dream.
Okay.
Like smashing them until they were mush. Like it was insane, like flushing them down the toilet. And it has to do with a mix of probably, I just had to research a bunch of stuff yesterday.
Yeah, because of the content you put out, like your mind is always looking at the darkest
stuff. It's a dark place. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm not desensitized to it. Like I feel like a lot of people are, but I think since I have to go so into the nitty-gritty, and I have to like decide what not to say because there's like so much I don't know.
People are gross. That's probably what you've learned. People can be
They
so
are.
evil.
And I do find like true crime's very interesting, obviously. And a lot of people have morbid fascination with it, or just the psychology of it and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know. It feels weird. So I'm like making more of a point to like help victims and do that kind of thing, because that's the only way it feels okay. But I still find it interesting, but I'm just like,
What's the worst case for you? Like, what's the number one case that disturbed you the most so far?
Just anything with kids. So I'm like trying to avoid it more, but I don't know. Sometimes I go into these cases, I'm not positive on what happens, and then I'm like halfway through researching, and I'm like, oh God, why do you have to? And I mean, it's all bad, but just, oh man, anything with kids, I'm just like, I feel like I do in that dream. I'm just like, I want like eye for an eye. I want to hurt people.
Yeah.
Like, let's
No, I completely feel that.
I think there should be the worst penalty for those type of people.
No, absolutely. It's just, I don't, and Adam, like I said before, he gets so mad about it, but I just don't see it in a person. I see a child and I feel the most uncontrollable urge to protect them and to make sure nothing ever bad happens to them. And the fact that there's people that look at kids and are like, oh, opposite time, blows my mind.
Yeah, that and murder. It's just like, oh yeah, I literally just talked about a case, and I think it'll be tomorrow, but it's on Rodney Alcala, which is the guy that went on that talk show in the 80s, or not, a dating game show. Like, he was a serial killer, but he also went on a dating game show and like flaunted it and stuff. And there's that Anna Kendrick made a movie about it recently.
Yes, that's what I was thinking about.
Man of the Hour. So it's based off of that. But just I mean, he killed women like in their 20s and stuff, but also like little girls. And I just cannot help but put my mind in that situation as like a little kid being taken somewhere and then taken advantage of, and then like, I want to do bad things to that person, the killer.
You really wonder where they ended up. You know what I mean? Because he's probably dead now, right?
Oh yeah. Luckily, like, he died not too long ago though. But he died he was on death. And the most frustrating part of that case is, and I highly recommend you go watch it because it's a very interesting case, but also trigger warning. But he was put on death row like 3 separate times, and they kept taking him off. And I'm like, what is happening? But then he ended up dying just of natural causes before any of that could happen, because death row in California was...
You have death penalty in Texas, correct?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
What is your thought of the death penalty compared to just making them live out their life in solitary confinement?
It's like the ultimate
because that
question.
Seems like such a punishment. I feel like make them live till they're insane, bring them back to normalcy, make them insane again, bring them back, make them insane, and then kill them.
Yeah, it was interesting to see the perspective of the family for that specific case, because a lot of people were just like, good, he's gone. But then the family felt like they were robbed because he got to live out a natural life and he got to die naturally. They're like, he got to live an extra 30 years, whereas, you know, our family members got their lives stolen from them. So I think for a lot of people, it is more of not even like a revenge thing, but it's like, you deserve to be afraid and have your life taken, which I understand to a certain degree. Is that, you know, the moral thing? I don't really know. I'm not totally positive where I stand, but I know I stand on where I want them to suffer in the most way. I think a lot of worse things, basically. Yeah. I think that, you know, whatever they did to get them in there should be done to them tenfold.
Oh, immediately.
Or something like that. I don't know. And that probably sounds terrible.
Worse torture. No, it's not. They did something horrible, and something's wrong for you to do that. You know what I mean? But like, you also know better. People know not to do that. Like, just don't fall into the compulsion, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But then I'm just like, oh man, if, you know, somebody's upstairs, they probably don't want me thinking all these evil things. Oh, it's hard. We're only human. Like, I'm just like, man, they should be lynched. They should be burned at the stake.
It for me? The movie The Shack. Every time I get in dark thoughts or I'm mad at somebody, I watch The Shack.
Yeah. 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 Did you read the book?
Yeah, I have like 6 copies of it over there because I pass it out to people.
I did. That's funny. Yeah, my parents made me read that when I was younger, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good, pretty deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's been, this morning I woke up. I literally thought I killed people. You know, when you wake up and it takes you a minute and I'm like, how am I going to,
like, whoa, shit.
like, I'm going to be in every true crime person's video now because I killed, but I didn't. It was just in my dream.
Everybody be getting those views, babe.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If something happens to me, feel free to make a video. I don't care.
Okay. Hopefully mine will get the most views because I'm your close friend. So
exactly. Yeah. You're like, I had the
no one else is allowed.
Scoop.
She was so weird those days leading up.
Yeah.
I love when like people just make shit up too. They're like, you guys weren't even friends.
Yeah. Isn't that a crazy thing? Because,
bro,
did you have anybody die growing up, like friends or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from Woodstock.
Yeah, like same. It's people close in like high school, and then you see like somebody close to me, you know, checked out on their own terms, and then you see all these other people like just skipping school because they're like, yeah, it really affected me. Like you literally bullied that person, or like you never talked to that person.
Terrible.
Or like the posts on Facebook back then. It's like rip this. I'm like, who are you saying that to? Who is that to? They're gone.
Ooh.
Like,
bye.
You're saying it for yourself. I don't know, all that stuff. I remember I was so angry of those people. I'm just like, man, like, and I get it. You know, your kids at that point, you're like 14, 15. But
yeah,
I remember just being like, just so mad.
Well, there's that with death. Then there's also like, once this stuff happened for us on TikTok, were the people that were like, oh, yes, Lena's my friend.
Yeah.
This is my friend. And you're like, we were never friends.
That too. You get people that are like, I knew her in high school. And I'm like, I don't know who you are. What are you talking
never
about?
Met you.
Never. Yeah. I've never met you and you didn't go to my high school. People just lie. People lie. It's and you know, none of us are perfect. But
no, people lie. People lie in a lot of ways. And another place where people lie a lot is the paranormal industry. That was flawless.
That was very good.
Flawless. Yeah. Then I had to point it out, which made it less flawless. But the truth is, when it comes to paranormal stuff as well, like, it is easy to manipulate, especially before there were cameras and there were, you know, all these ways that people just believe because we weren't so desensitized.
Yep.
But I thought it would be really interesting to talk about the Fox sisters today, which is, I've done a whole different like episode on it before, but I find them so interesting.
Yeah, and I haven't seen your episode on that, so I don't actually know. I mean, I know like what you've told me in our own time, but I don't actually know that much about them.
No, so I thought we're going to talk about 3 different people. We're going to talk about the Fox sisters, which were 3 people on their own. We're going to talk about Devin and Satori, because we know the drama that came out with them a couple years ago. Yeah, and then I'll never forget. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. And then another one that's really cool about an illusionist, and I think it was the 70s. But of course, first we need to start with the Fox sisters, pioneers, babies. If you want a really cool listen, by the way, everyone, on Audible, it's like a podcast. I think it's called this. It's about the Fox sisters. There's like Sisters of Hydesville or something. There's a theatrical thing. This is not a promo at all, but I really enjoyed it. But it's a theatrical reading podcast kind of show thing, and it's all about them, which is cool. So here we go. It all began in the small town of Hydesville, New York, in March of 1848. That's so long ago. The Fox family had recently moved into a modest farmhouse, just another settler family trying to carve out a life in the burned-over district of upstate New York. But that spring, their home became the stage for one of the most bizarre and influential stories in paranormal history.
1 second, I gotta get my glasses.
She needs the glasses. She's blind.
It's so tiny.
No.
Yeah. Let me get my glasses. I really got to do more character stuff. I feel like I'm robbing the people of that. Anyway, the Fox sisters, Margaret, known as Maggie, who was 14, and her younger sister, Catherine, or Kate, who was just 11, were at the heart of it. They claimed to hear unexplained knocks and raps echoing through their home. Their parents, John and Margaret Fox, were skeptical at first, but night after night the sounds returned, and soon they couldn't deny something strange was happening.
The girls began experimenting, asking questions into the air. When they asked the spirit to knock once for yes or twice for no, the sounds responded. Suddenly, they had their language. The sisters declared this entity was the ghost of a murdered peddler who had been buried in their cellar of the farmhouse. It was a story straight out of a Gothic novel, and their neighbors were enthralled.
Words of the Hydesville knockings spread rapidly. People flocked to the Fox home to witness the strange communications. The local press latched onto the story, and soon the Fox sisters were thrust into the public eye. This wasn't just a curiosity. It was the spark that ignited the fire of spiritualism, a movement that would sweep across America and Europe in the coming decades.
The timing was perfect. The 19th century was a time of immense change. Because, no TV, no any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, not a lot going on.
The Second Great Awakening had left the region known as the Burned Over District because of the intense religious fervor. Religious fervor. I love words. I can't do them right, but they're there and they're in my mouth. Fervor. Yes. Families were grieving lost children, epidemics were rampant, and life expectancy was short. People craved reassurance that death wasn't the end, and the Fox sisters seemed to offer proof.
Mm-hmm. The sisters didn't just entertain, they offered comfort. They suggested that the dead could speak, that loved ones were still near, waiting to knock out a message in the silence. And soon, Maggie and Kate were whisked away from Hydesville to Rochester, where their older sister, Leah, lived. And Leah quickly became their manager, recognizing that what had begun as a parlor trick could become a lucrative profession.
Look at these boss girls going in the 1800s. I'm here for
scamming everybody. Queen.
In Rochester. Get it, girl. No, don't.
Terrible.
Straight to jail.
Yep.
In Rochester, the Fox sisters began giving public demonstrations. Hundreds gathered in theaters and lecture halls to hear the mysterious raps. The sisters would sit quietly on stage, hands clasped, and ask questions. Each knock that echoed through the room deepened the audience's awe. It wasn't long before newspapers across the nation were calling them conduits of the dead.
By 1850, the Fox sisters were famous. They were performing in major cities, endorsed by prominent figures, and inspiring others to attempt spirit communication. And seances became fashionable among the wealthy elite. Darkened parlors, flickering candles, and tables surrounded by solemn faces became the new social scene. And spiritualism wasn't just entertainment, it became a movement, even a religion.
At the height of their fame, the Fox sisters were more than entertainers. They were icons. Spiritualism attracted intellectuals, reformers, and ordinary people alike. It was tied to progressive movements like Chris calling in
abolitionism.
Good enough, and women's rights. For many, especially women, it offered a voice and authority in society that often silenced them. Mediumship gave them power.
I need to look up what that means now.
Yeah, we need to know. I've never heard that word in my life.
The principal policy or movement to abolish or end something, particularly the institution of slavery, or the belief that it should be abolished, because that was newly a thing. Thank goodness people were starting to be hip and, accept everyone as equal.
Stop slavery.
Equal rights. All right. But even in their prime, the skeptics were circling. Observers noticed that the sounds seemed to emanate from the sisters themselves. Doctors and investigators examined them, suspecting trickery, but the Fox sisters were clever. They could make the cracking noises with their toe and ankle joints, producing sharp, echoey raps that seemed to come from the walls or floor. Caleb can do this. And I didn't know about this. I didn't know it was a thing until way after the Sam McColby thing and everything, because I was like, I saw the raw footage and I was mind blown. I was like, what the f-? But then
I felt so bad when I saw that shit.
Fast forward to, I don't even know, like a few months ago, and Caleb did it with his toes, and I was like, what is that? Like, I was looking around and he's like, it's my toe, look at my toe. And I'm like, what? It was crazy. Just like the mind thing. He's like, what's that over there? And he literally did it. Like, proved it. And I was like,
and in your head, you believe it.
Yeah.
When I watched that YouTube video, because I saw the drama and I hadn't seen the video, and I watched the video, and I genuinely felt so bad.
Yeah.
And seeing how upset Sam had gotten, because of course I've been obsessed with the Fox sisters, because I started the Haunted State in 2014.
Yeah.
That's when I learned about them, and I learned about how they did things. And when I saw them doing that, immediately I was like, I can't believe, like, I get it. doing it from like a show point. But like when you're doing something so deep and Sam and Colby do stuff real, I was like, this is not.
Like, what did they expect? They were going to be seen by millions of people. Like, people know about the Fox sisters. I didn't. But, you know,
they
people
were on Ghost
going to figure it out.
They were on Ghost Adventurers before Sam and Colby.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's right. That's crazy. So they just thought they'd get away with it.
Yeah.
Where are they
jump
now?
into them next.
Okay, yeah.
I think we're going to find out.
Okay.
Back to the Fox sisters for a minute. The method that they used was simple but effective. In dark rooms lit only by candlelight, the sound of toe joints snapping reverberated eerily. Few could believe such a loud rap could come from the human body. Even when physicians held the girls' feet, they struggled to catch the movement.
Wow.
The illusion was powerful, and the mystery kept audiences hooked.
Despite whispers of fraud, their fame only grew. Other mediums began copying their style, adding flourishes like table tipping, automatic writing, and trance speaking. By the 1850s, spiritualism was everywhere. The Fox sisters had lit a fire they could no longer control. They were celebrities, but they were also prisoners of the roles they had created.
Behind the scenes, the toll was immense. Maggie and Kate were children when this began, thrust into a world of fame, money, and pressure. Leah, their older sister, was often accused of exploiting them, pushing them into performances for financial gain. The girls drank heavily, quarreled often, and grew weary of the constant scrutiny.
Maggie's personal life only added to the turmoil. She fell in love with Alicia Kane, a celebrated Arctic explorer. Kane, however, despised spiritualism. Did I say that right? Alicia?
It looks like Alicia.
Is it a woman?
No, it's a man.
Oh, interesting. I was like, look at these boss queens just being like open lesbians.
Gay
I love
spooky.
that.
I love
it. Kane, however, despised spiritualism. He believed Maggie had talent and beauty beyond the seances and urged her to abandon the act. Their romance was passionate but strained. Kane died young, and Maggie was left heartbroken, disillusioned, and more dependent on alcohol than ever. Oh.
Kate, too, struggled. Though she married and moved to England for a time, her life was unstable. The sisters drifted apart, and their fame was fading as other mediums stole the spotlight. By the 1870s and the 1880s, they were more known for scandal and personal decline than for the seances that once captivated the world.
Then, in 1888, came the confession that shocked everyone. Maggie Fox, standing before an audience at the New York Academy of Music, declared that the entire phenomenon had been a fraud. She demonstrated how she produced the mysterious raps by snapping her toe joints. The audience gasped as the sound echoed clearly the same noises that had once convinced thousands of spirits reality.
Newspapers declared the death of spiritualism. Maggie's confession was detailed and damning. She explained how they had started this as children, frightening their mother with little tricks, and how Aaliyah turned it into a career. She revealed that even when they wanted to stop, the momentum was too great, and they were trapped in their lie.
It's like me figuring out, like, when David Blaine and all these magicians I love growing up weren't actually wizards. I was like, wait, it's a fake?
Chris Angel, how?
Dude, I love magic. That's different than this, but magic's awesome. I love magic tricks. Anyway. But even this dramatic revelation couldn't kill spiritualism. Believers insisted Maggie was lying, that she had been bribed or coerced into the confession. Some claimed the spirits themselves had forced her to recant. The movement was too large, too entrenched to collapse. Spiritualists simply dismissed her words and carried on.
Bro, I get it. People don't want to give it up. Ironically, Maggie herself later recanted the confession. Pressured by the spiritualist friends and desperate for money, she claimed she had been forced to denounce her powers. The cycle of belief and doubt continued, but the damage was done. The Fox sisters' reputations were shattered, and they faded into obscurity.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I don't know why that makes me think of that.
That's funny, though.
Oh, my gosh. It reminds me of Trump, though. It's just like, I'm going to give you the Epstein files. It's going to be great. We're going to get the Epstein files. Actually, there's no Epstein files. They went over there. I never mind what I said.
My name was on the list, so I couldn't give it to you.
Yeah, I couldn't give it.
This world is wild.
Their final years were bleak, estranged from Leah. Impoverished and struggling with addiction, both Maggie and Kate died in poverty in the 1890s. The women who had once captivated the world were buried quickly. Their legacy tarnished. Yet the movement they sparked lived on, growing beyond them, unstoppable.
Despite their fraud, their influence is undeniable. They inspired a generation of mediums, popularized by the seance and cemented in the idea that the dead could communicate with the living. Spiritualism influenced psychology, stage magic, and even modern paranormal investigation. Every time a ghost hunter listens for a knock in the dark, they echo the Fox sisters' legacy.
The story of the Fox sisters is one of contradictions. They were frauds, yes, but also pioneers. They manipulated grief, but also gave comfort. They deceived thousands, yet created a movement that empowered women and changed culture. They lived tragic lives, but their impact shaped history.
In the end, the Fox sisters remind us of the power of belief. Whether through cracked toes in a farmhouse or flashing lights on a ghost hunting show, people will always want to believe that something lies beyond. And sometimes that desire is so strong that the truth hardly matters.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, there's just so many. I think people are just crave that piece so much.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, no, I choose to believe it. I totally get it.
No, I don't know why this reminds me of this. I had the craziest experience the other day because we're talking about spooky shit. I'm trying to sell a car that I have here, and this guy shows up, and such a weird icon. I love him. He comes. He's looking at the car for it to be the clergy car for this funeral home, and he's like, "We have like one of the oldest funeral homes. You should come ghost hunt it." Because when he pulled up, he knew who Adam was. But I don't know if he like knew because Adam had posted it. I don't know if he knew it was me. I come out, so funny. He like looks over and he like, oh my gosh. So he starts talking about how he works at this funeral home. He comes over. He's like, I have an ashes box for you. So he gives me this ashes box. But first he has to take out his taxidermy duck. So I know we're already gonna be friends.
Oh, perfect.
But then we start talking about crazy stuff. And he told me how they embalm babies. Dude, do you know how they embalm babies?
No.
Which I'm in a terrified state right now because I've never brought a live baby home and we're going into this birth. And in my brain, the worst is going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They take the babies and they put them in a pot of embalming fluid because they can't put it in their veins. And they just put them on low in a pot and it just absorbs. So they literally like just saute them in embalming fluid.
I could have gone my entire life without knowing that.
I'm sorry. Now you know. Anyways, I have an ashes box and there's a little bit of dust in there. Don't know who it is. But he was hilarious, an icon, very funny. I was like a little nervous, but not really.
I'm glad
I texted you after,
friend.
remember?
I know you did. And I was like, get the man off your property because you didn't explain it like this. It was more like a man showed up and tried to buy a car and he gave me ashes. And I was like, get out of there. Call the police.
No, you know what? I have him on Instagram now, and I think I'm going to ask him to hang out.
How old is he?
28.
Oh, I was expecting like a middle-aged man.
No.
Okay.
Same generation.
Well, you know, tread carefully.
He was fun.
Okay.
And like works at a funeral home. He was like telling me really cool stories. Like I was like, I love this.
Yeah, I think you guys have like all that. You guys would have a lot in common with like all the.
Adam comes in after and he's like, wow, you guys really hit it off. And I was like, I think I might have made a spooky weird friend. Oh, had a tattoo on his leg of a Ouija planchette.
Yeah.
Had gone to a haunted asylum, used a Ouija board, burned the Ouija board, crushed the ashes up, and gave himself a planchette tattoo. Badass.
He might be a little too weird for me.
we should have him on an episode for sure.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know. Okay, I was like, I'd be interested to know more stories. That's like the most metal thing I've ever heard in my life.
I know,
in like the scariest way. I would never, like, I'd be scared to be near him because I don't mess with Ouija boards.
No,
that scares me. No. That's scary.
I got a new Ouija board. It's back there. I got it from the Ouija Museum in Salem.
That's pretty cool.
And it's an 1880s, I think. big spooky one. I won't play it, but it's sitting back there.
Yeah, you never
Chris is
use
like,
them, right?
No.
No.
Here's the thing. You can. And I've always I say don't unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Anything can be a portal to talk to the dead.
Yeah.
Anything can be. So it's just one of those things where it's dicey. It's even talking to your guides is dicey.
I'm good.
Okay,
Pass.
well, before we jump into Cody and Satori, I'm going to give you a little palate cleanser here, okay? I'm going to see if I can fool you. So 2 of these are a lie, and 1 of these is a truth, okay? These are paranormal things that happen in history. In the 1600s, an entire French convent of nuns began meowing like cats, hissing and crawling on all 4s, claiming they were possessed. Soldiers were called in because the meowing chorus lasted for weeks. Here's your first one.
Interesting.
Next up.
Okay.
In 1972, scientists at Stanford accidentally summoned a phantom monk during a telepathy experiment. The figure was seen by 6 people, floated across the lab, and then vanished through a wall. Then, in 1956, a Canadian pilot reported a ghostly hand grabbing his controls mid-flight, forcing his plan to nosedive before releasing. He landed safely, but never flew again. So out of those 3, which one is true?
I feel like the nosedive one is like a single account, so it'd be like too easy. And also, I feel like a pilot just wouldn't stop flying. I feel like that sounds silly based off of that. Like to get your pilot's license to be like, and I know force. So I'm gonna nix that one.
Okay.
And the Stanford one is like,
what?
my lights just changed in the background. The Stanford one is it's Stanford. So I feel like, what was the experiment?
The
Telepathy?
It was a telepathy experiment.
And it's like a monk or something?
Yeah, a monk showed up, floated across the lab, and vanished through a wall.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. But then also the nun thing is like, it sounds insane. But like for that time period and like mass hysteria type stuff, which is very popular, and the possession thing with Catholicism and all that kind of stuff, I feel like
this is around the time of, this is 1600s.
Yeah.
This is around.
So based off my knowledge of history, mass, just you do what everybody else does. It reminds me of like the dancing plague type thing. Like everybody danced. And I was like, but I'm going to say that one is
correct. The Meowing Nuns of Loudun, France is a documented mass hysteria possession case. It freaked everyone out so badly the army did intervene.
I bet. That'd be freaky as hell.
Weird.
Just nuns on the ground like, wait, here, I'll do it.
That's terrifying.
Here, I'll give you a visual.
Give me the visual. This is exciting. Everyone, Chris is about to become a meowing scary nun.
I have a blanket as well.
Yes. Oh my god. We hates it. It's terrifying, babe.
This blanket's really cozy.
It's really terrifying. I think what's really weird too is like, it's not young people, like nuns are older women. Yeah. So like imagine just like 70-year-old women run crawling at you down a hallway. Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, no. I'm good, thanks. I'm good. That's great. Love this.
Well, it's not a smooth transition, but it's time to talk about Cody and Satori and the knocking ghost. I'm like, you're gonna see some familiar traits here. So in the paranormal world, certain names cause a stir almost overnight. For modern ghost hunters, few have sparked as much excitement and controversy as Cody and Satori, known simply as Cody and Satori. They rose to prominence through ghost hunters and quickly became one of the most talked about duos in supernatural circles, which makes sense because all of this got kind of, early 1900s, we stopped hearing about this kind of stuff. Spiritualism kind of moved more to Ouija boards and movie and culture. So it was time for it to swing back around because everybody that remembered was dead.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. And part of the intrigue came from Satori's lineage. She's the daughter of Jason Hawes, co-founder of Ghost Hunters, and one of the most recognizable figures in paranormal television. Growing up around investigations gave her instant credibility to fans. And Cody, her partner, both personally and professionally, joined her in exploring the unknown, and together they presented something they called a unique gift.
That gift, according to them, was the ability to summon spirit communication whenever they held hands. The moment their palms touched, knocks and taps began to sound in the room. Intelligent responses to questions. It was a phenomenon both eerie and oddly familiar, echoing the seance culture of the 19th century.
Audiences were mesmerized. On investigations and events, they would sit together, hands clasped, and asked aloud. 1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no. Sometimes the sounds built into patterns that spelled out names or messages, and for spectators, it looked like real-time, undeniable proof of life after death.
Cody and Satori's rise wasn't limited to television. They appeared at conventions, live streams, and ghost hunts, eager to witness their method. Fans described the experience as emotional, even healing, like speaking directly with loved ones who had passed. Their sincerity and chemistry added to the allure.
But as their fame spread, so did skepticism. Veteran investigators and magicians began analyzing the knocks. Many noticed the sound coincided with small shifts in posture or subtle movements. To critics, it seemed the noises weren't coming from spirits at all, but from Cody and Satori themselves, produced through body mechanics or manipulation of the floor.
It resembled... The resemblance to the Fox sisters was impossible to ignore. In 1848, Maggie and Kate Fox had convinced the world that they could summon ghostly raps, as we learned, until they confessed that they were cracking their toe joints. The parallels were so strong that skeptics quickly labeled Cody and Satori the Fox sisters of YouTube. I love that.
And this was before?
This is before... What do you mean? Before?
Well, I guess we're getting into that right now.
Yeah.
Despite the doubts, they gained powerful platform through Sam and Colby. In one of the investigations, Sam and Colby sat wide-eyed as the knocks answered their questions. Their huge fan base, millions strong, was introduced to Cody and Satori as authentic mediums. And for believers, this was confirmation. And for skeptics, it was frustration.
Critics argued that Sam and Colby weren't trained to test claims. They were entertainers. Their amazement amplified the hype without challenging the method. Online debates exploded, forums filled with side-by-side comparisons of Cody and Satori's knocks with known fraudulent techniques.
And one common criticism was that the activity only occurred when the two were physically touching. Separate them, and the phenomenon stopped. To skeptics, this was a glaring red flag. Others pointed out that the knocks didn't carry from the walls or ceilings, but instead seemed localized right near the pair.
Supporters, however, insisted the sincerity of Cody and Satori was proof enough. They appeared genuine, emotional, and passionate. Many argued that even if there were natural explanations, the comfort their sessions gave people was valuable. To them, the impact mattered more than the science. And it's not great to play God, it's not great to play spirits, but some people were probably so settled by that, and their loved ones would probably want that for them, but at the same time, it's still wrong.
Yeah. Though my entire childhood, my parents preached that these people are evil.
That's very religious family. My mom would have been like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, for sure, right? Yeah, it's just like, and maybe there's a gray area, but I don't know. For me, at the end of the day, they're lying to get money. So I don't like it at all, really.
No.
But I understand. Like when you're in a state of grief, you're looking for any sort of comfort. So is that bad to get comfort, even if it's false? I don't know. It's up to the person, right?
Yeah.
Skeptics countered with psychology. They suggested that ideomotor effect, the same unconscious movement that powers Ouija boards, might explain the phenomenon. In other words, Cody and Satori might genuinely believe in their gift, while unknowingly creating the knocks themselves through subconscious actions.
Others weren't convinced by that generous explanation. Some slowed down video clips and claimed to spot foot shifts or subtle taps at the precise moment knocks occurred. For these critics, the pair were knowingly repeating an old fraud dressed up for the 21st century.
Yet, in the paranormal field, controversy rarely destroys a reputation. It only fuels it. And Cody and Satori continued touring, appearing on shows and cultivating a loyal following. To fans, they were pioneers. To skeptics, they were performers. The divide only seemed to grow sharper.
Hey, put on a good show, you put on a good show. Their story demonstrates a timeless truth. People want to believe. The 1800s audiences crammed in candlelit parlors to hear ghostly raps. Today's viewers crowd YouTube live streams for the same thrill. Whether through toe cracks or knocking duos, the hunger for proof of the afterlife remains constant.
And that's why Cody and Satori matter. Whether they're genuine mediums, self-deceived believers, or skilled performers, they've tapped into something primal. Their knocking ghosts aren't just about sound, they're about hope, grief, and the desire for connection that transcends centuries.
I really wonder if the negative press just added to it because people want to go out and see it for themselves, right? Like there's still, it is bad they're making money off something that's fake, but people are going to show up.
Negative press is still press. It's like...
I don't like negative press.
No, me neither. I'd rather take none. I personally, I don't have the stomach for it. But yeah, no, I think there's too many people that are willing to believe it, even though it's kind of like right in their face, like, this is fake. And they're like,
yeah,
nah. Which then it's up to that person. If you have all the information and then you want to decide to believe, great. Then
go for it.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't like dishonest people.
Me neither.
At the end of the day.
Neither.
So I would be, and I don't like that they made our friends look silly.
Well, they didn't know. That's the thing. Like Sam and Colby don't fake any, like, yeah, and Sam and Colby, they don't fake stuff, which was so interesting because like every time you go, you don't know when you meet people for the first time. Like, as we've talked about people in this industry, it's like so different. But like, I just felt bad when I saw how upset Sam got when you're connecting with like someone's grandmother like that. Like, that's not fair.
No, I was mad. Like, I just put myself in those shoes. I'm like, if you faked and you did research on my family and then you faked that to me and then I found out about it, I'd be furious.
Oh, pissed.
I was furious on their behalf. So no, I don't agree with it being like, oh, they're performers or this. No, they're liars.
They're liars.
They're just liars.
Really?
Just like the Fox sisters. And fine, if you still want to see it and perform, you want to see them crack their toes, cool. But
dude, I can't do it. I know
me neither. Too small. Caleb can do it really, really well, though. He literally just came in the room yesterday and was able to do it. And I didn't know he was cracking his toe. Huh?
Can you get him to do it and send me a video?
I will. But
Okay,
he did the thing to me. He's like, oh, what was that? And I was like, whoa, what is that? And then he was pointing, and I was thinking it was somewhere else, but it was literally.
Heard it somewhere else because you were given the thought of it.
He's like, see, that's how they do it. And I'm like, what the? And I couldn't even see his toe moving. Yeah, it's just disappointing because you do want to. And, we've had experiences where, I believe that there's another, plane of existence or something's going on that's bigger than us. But yeah, it's people that take advantage of that. That's like, that's not fair.
Mine would be farting. I would just fart on command and be like, oh, did you guys hear that growl?
What was that?
It wasn't my ass.
That's really funny. Why does it smell like eggs?
It's a demon.
Yeah. It's sulfur.
Talking about liars, we have one more, which is Uri Geller, the celebrity psychic who fooled the world. When we talk about paranormal fakers, most of the names are tied to seances, rapping spirits, or ghostly apparitions. But the 20th century had its own brand of supernatural celebrity, and one man stood above them all, Uri Geller. He didn't just claim to contact the dead, he claimed to bend reality itself.
I've never heard of this person.
Me neither until today.
Uri Geller became world famous in the 1970s for his supposed psychic abilities. He performed incredible feats, bending spoons with the power of his mind, fixing broken watches, and describing hidden drawings sealed in signed envelopes. Oh, he just sounds like a magician.
Yep.
This is great.
Cool dude.
To many, he was living proof that psychic powers were real. That's not psychic. That's just... That's telekinetic or whatever. Well, I guess psychic because you'd read paper. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Born in Tel Aviv in 1946, Geller claimed his abilities first appeared when he was a child. The story he told was that at age 5, while eating soup, his spoon suddenly bent in his hand. He insisted it was not a trick, but the first sign of his extraordinary gift.
Interesting. By the late 1960s and early 1970s, Geller was touring nightclubs and performing for audiences. What set him apart was his charisma. He wasn't just performing magic tricks, he was selling the idea that what he was doing was real and people wanted to believe. I'm on board
Television,
so far.
Yeah, me too. Television was his launching pad. In the early 1970s, he appeared on talk shows around the world. His spoon-bending act, pressing lightly on the metal until it seemed to droop and twist, became his signature. Millions of viewers watched in awe as ordinary cutlery bent like rubber.
He didn't stop at spoons. Geller would ask audience members to bring broken watches. He'd rub them gently and claim his energy restarted them. Some did tick again, likely because old mechanical watches often restart after being handled, but on TV, it looked miraculous.
I like this. This is nice. This seems pretty innocent so
What a
far.
time to be a magician, though. Just people, like, not knowing about magic, and he just figured it out before everyone else. It's the most, like, basic shit. I love that.
So funny. Perhaps the most famous part of his act was his ability to duplicate drawings sealed in envelopes. A host or guest would sketch something in secret, and Geller would apparently reproduce it without ever seeing it. These demonstrations left audiences stunned, and many believed science had finally found proof of psychic powers.
Yeah, so he's literally just doing what every other psychic magician person is doing. That's really funny. Geller's fame skyrocketed. He performed for celebrities, politicians, and even scientists. He became a global figure, an Israeli psychic with access to the rich and powerful. He wasn't just on TV, he was in the news, in magazines, and in the public imagination.
But not everyone was convinced. Magicians, scientists, and skeptics began to take notice. They argued that Geller's abilities looked exactly like stage magic tricks, sleight of hand and misdirection dressed up as paranormal phenomena.
And one of the most famous critics was James Randi, a magician and escape artist who devoted his life to exposing frauds. Randi demonstrated repeatedly how all of Geller's tricks could be performed by magicians. And he even recreated Geller's spoon bends and envelope drawings on television, showing there were nothing supernatural about them. Love this guy even more.
Yep. The confrontation between Geller and skepticism hit a turning point in 1973. Geller was invited onto the Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson.
Oh, this is what
he
the
didn't know.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
This is what the devil, the night show, the horror movie that came out like last year or the year before. I love it. The late night show where the magician.
Oh, Late Night with the Devil?
Yeah, this has to be based off of it. This is literally the same story. I'm curious. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted. Keep going.
We have to see. Well, what he didn't know was that Carson himself, a former magician, had asked James Randi to prepare the props for the show.
Whoa, this is crazy. I'm so curious if this is based off of this. Instead of using Geller's own spoons and envelopes, the show provided their own. This is crazy. When Geller tried to perform, nothing worked. He sat nervously, stalling, saying he didn't feel strong tonight. For many viewers, it was the first crack in the image of Uri Geller, the psychic. Oh, I'm getting secondhand embarrassment, and this was like decades ago.
Yes. Yet, even after the disastrous performance, Geller's career didn't end. His charm and confidence carried him through. He continued to perform around the world, insisting his powers were genuine. To believers, Carson's show was just an off night.
What made Geller especially fascinating was how far his influence spread. He wasn't just a TV performer, he was invited into scientific laboratories where researchers tested his supposed abilities. Some even claimed he had passed rigorous experiments.
One such institution was the Stanford Research Institute in California. In the 1970s, scientists there conducted tests on Geller, claiming he demonstrated psychic abilities under controlled conditions. Their results were controversial. Critics argued the experiments weren't properly designed and that Geller exploited the loopholes.
MK Ultra shit, man. But those reports gave Geller a kind of legitimacy. He was no longer just a stage performer. He was presented as someone science itself couldn't explain. For the public, that was electrifying.
Governments even took notice. During the Cold War, both the United States and the Soviet Union were interested in psychic research. Rumors swirled that Geller had been involved in intelligence work, using his supposed powers for espionage. Whether or not those claims were true, they added to the mystique.
Yeah, the government was obsessed with figuring out psychic abilities with LSD.
Yeah,
it's MK
Oh,
Ultra.
yeah.
That was all
I've
MK
seen the
Ultra.
videos.
They
Terrifying.
killed people, then like drugged people, and it was insane for decades.
Yeah, bananas.
It's insane.
I've seen old videos and stuff. It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. That was a crazy time. The more he was criticized, the more famous he became. Every skeptical article seemed to fuel more interest in his shows. He leaned into the role of celebrity psychic, mingling with royalty, rock stars, and politicians.
But skeptics never let up. James Randi wrote an entire book about Geller, detailing how his tricks could be performed with ordinary magician techniques. Randi even won lawsuits against Geller, successfully defending himself when Geller tried to sue.
Over time, Geller's reputation settled into a strange middle ground. To some, he was a fraud, a clever magician who built a fortune out of deception. To others, he remained a true psychic, someone whose gifts defied explanation. He managed to walk the line between scandal and stardom. Yeah, I'm against him now.
Yeah, like admit it. It'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm a magician.
Yeah.
In later years, Geller reinvented himself. He shifted away from the constant demonstrations and embraced the role of cultural figure. He opened a museum, wrote books, and continued to make occasional appearances. His spoon bending became less about proof and powers and more about nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. And yet his influence remains. Uri Geller showed how powerful belief can be. Millions saw his tricks and chose to believe, even when presented with evidence of fraud. He proved that charisma, timing, and cultural hunger for the paranormal could turn a nightclub magician into a global icon.
Damn, he's a runaway clown. No, it's crazy what people want to believe and what people will believe, and like where people admit stuff, and the pressure on those people of lying has to eat them alive. Because a lot of these people, again, like they kind of faded away because the pressure of it all had to be a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the pressure of getting caught. I don't think they give a fuck. I think it takes a certain kind of person to just lie as a career. Like, I don't understand why he couldn't just be a magician.
Be a magician!
Because he had to be something more. He had to be something special.
You know why?
Yeah, why?
Because he had a couple tricks. That's it. That's why he had to be something else.
Exactly.
He probably couldn't learn the other tricks.
Yeah.
That's probably all he had.
Yeah, it is crazy that he went on the Carson show, which also I need to know if it's based off that. And they gave him fake stuff, and like people are still like, he's like, I'm just having an off night. That's wild to me.
Yeah, that's absolutely wild. I love that.
What's the movie called again? Late Night with the Devil.
The Late Night with the Devil.
I love that movie. I think it's fantastic.
It was good. I saw the things and I thought, oh, it's not going to be good. And then it blew up and we watched it and Adam's like, I'll watch that again.
Yeah.
Because I like it because it feels real. Like it feels...
It's fantastic.
Like they're just there.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely fantastic. I've seen it a few times now. I loved it. Based on...
Talking about movies, by the way, guys, you can now stream, you can rent or buy, which you should just buy because, you know, have it forever. House on Eden, Amazon Prime. Where else? Amazon,
Apple, DirecTV, Fandango, maybe a couple others. But yeah, it's on a lot of things for U.S. and Canada, which is really exciting.
Perfect.
Not featured Johnny Carson himself, but its main character, Late Night, potentially portrayed as a rival to Johnny Carson. Oh yeah, that's right. But what was it based off of that? But it has to be. It's way too similar.
Vibes. Yeah, the vibes.
Because there's like a skeptic that comes on and tries to prove him wrong and all that stuff, and what he's doing isn't working, and yeah, which is cool. They made it totally into their own, which is cool.
No, I love that. I love that. Yeah. And what's creepy is this has brought us to the end of our episode, which means we have one more thing we have to do.
Yeah.
Gotta give them a bedtime story to put them to sleep.
Bedtime story. All right. Well, I think you have to start.
Okay. Once upon a time in 1902, there was a little girl who grew up in a very poor family.
She was one of 8 children. And she was the third oldest. And she was sad that her family was living in poverty and she was hoping she could help in some way.
She herself felt so invisible as a deeply middle child. Some of her siblings had grown sick and now lived with difficulties that their parents couldn't afford.
So, she formulated a plan. She would become an entertainer.
But this couldn't be built on something other people had already seen. It couldn't be a stage act. It's something they had to believe.
And recently, her neighbor's daughter had passed away. And when she was over there trying to comfort the neighbor one day, she thought, why not make her think that she's in the room with us?
In her mind, she didn't see any evil in it because she knew that it would bring peace to the parents.
So, she formulated a story. The daughter was at peace, and she missed her parents, and that was that. But then word spread around the towns.
People were speaking of the middle child, which was her stage name now, and how she could speak to the ghosts. But people question it, so she needed to do something else.
She needed sounds. She needed something other people could hear. So, in her next paid visit, she started to fart.
She always knew she just had the tightest hiney. And when she farted, it didn't sound like a thunderclap. It was just a squeak. It was a...
It sounded like somebody stepping on floorboards. And she would say, and when people said that it started to smell in the room, she would say that that meant that a spirit was present.
And she got away with this for years until somebody questioned why she always ate a whole pan of baked beans
It's literally gonna say
before she went to her.
So one day, somebody tried to prove her wrong. They would hire her services, and she would go over to her house and bring along her baked beans. But the person said that they already made her dinner, and it was not a fibrous meal.
Not knowing what to do, she ate her meal and then sat at the table, tried to answer questions, but she pushed too hard. And then... shit.
Which was kind of an allegory and poetic, really, because she was just shitting on all these people and being a shitty person, lying for money.
The end. That's my favorite.
That was good. That was good. Not scary, but good.
Did you see that there's a doll right now? I don't know if it's real. It's going around Instagram for me. It's a haunted doll, and all she does is cause diarrhea.
No. That's so funny. Maybe she'll do the opposite for you.
Or I just die. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Can't Sleep. See you next time, bedbugs.
Bye.
Bye.